with your phone. You have to download an app for it. But in Japan have been using this technology for 10 years now. They are, you have to go closer and further away, so like that giant one that's on the wall. Yeah, or I think there's a QR code one on iPhone. If you just, basically what you do is you stand a certain distance away, and it can link you, it asks you if you want to go to a website and tells you which one.
We go to for inspiration and research.
This one is a Flickr. I want to share some of the kind of creative secrets that we have and where we get our inspiration from.
So what's this type of mark called?
Quick response code. I believe.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
A lot of them have a similar corner.
Yeah, this is how it happens.
That's how it like I think that's how it sort of reads the information is by three corner, like I think it triangulates or something. They can be any, like in any direction as long as it's not like flipped. So they could be down here and it would still read it.
Any other questions?
So that's your inspiration for design, and then you print it on wallpaper. Is that the deal?
Yeah, and I mean basically it was more of a concept sort of. I guess because we manufacture all the stuff we design, we're lucky enough to be able to like turn something around really quickly and just print what we come up with.
I think you're turning on the rules of wallpaper?
Yeah.
Is that how it goes? And what's the size?
They're 36-inch wide panels, and we can print up to 125 feet.
Are there other colorways?
Yeah. Any color you want, we can match the panel colors.
Because it's all digitally printed, so it can be any color.
And then you'll be linked to more information. And so we thought that this was a really great idea. Roll House actually approached us with the idea, and we think it's really interesting. Sorry, I should introduce myself. My name is Noah. I work at the Design Exchange. I'm not just a random person talking about this. And we think it's a really interesting thing because museums are often labeled as creating passive audiences. So in the day and age that we live in, it's great to have active participants. So this enables you, each one of you, and we do have Blackberries downstairs that you can borrow.
Right?
Yes.
If you went into the store and somebody introduced something that looked new, then you would notice a really distinct comparison. Like for example, shapes or something.
Yes.
Now, because there's a large number of different styles, it's really tough to know which is the most recent or even what's a year or two ago. You could easily find one that's a year or two old and wouldn't necessarily know unless you were definitely following the styles, right?
Well, some of these styles, if someone from Asia, from the Philippines looked at these things, they would think this is modern, like this is a new design, because this is not the way the designers think in the Philippines. Yeah.
Oh, I see. No.
So this is all new. This is new to people who are not from Canada.
It is?
And non-European. Yeah.
Are you serious?
The design, I meant. Okay, these things are old and known in Europe and North America, but in Asia, these are considered new and modern.
I mean, people in Asia are really that unaccustomed to this?
Yes. Yes, because even though imports
So to you, some of this looks... No, you're familiar with this.
I've seen these in vintage stores and antiques stores, but I know from having been born in the Philippines that these things are actually different and modern looking to people from the Philippines, because these designers are what? They're like European, they're they're North American and it's totally different from Southeast Asia.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even the materials that they use are different. Seriously. Well, even if we use wood, we don't twist them up in those different shapes. And the plastic and, leather, leather's too hot in the Philippines.
It's not? They don't make things out of leather there?
They do. I had a leather jacket in the Philippines and leather boots, but for furniture, it's not.
You know what the big issue with leather is? Okay, here in North America and Europe for a long time, okay?
Yeah.
Now, this may not be exactly accurate, but I'll explain it to you as I understand it. Okay? You buy something that's made of leather. The largest percentage of the time it will be made out of cow
Yes.
or possibly horse.
Do you know the process of bending wood for furniture?
Steam it.
Steam?
Make canoes like that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So how does it keep the shape? After it's steamed, it retains that
Wood
shape?
does that. Once the steam makes it flexible, and once it dries, it returns back to flexible.
Oh wow, that's
In
useful.
Canada, they make a lot of canoes.
Okay, so what do you
So here's the application, it's already open, so you're just going to go ahead and make sure that the box is within the box on the camera. And try to line it up. Yep, and try to make it as big as possible, but it doesn't have to be. Yep, and you just press down and wait for it to take a shot of the focus. Yep. Sorry. Okay. Hold on. Go ahead, try again. Just press directly down. Yep. Don't know. Hold on. Yeah.
Why don't you try it and then I'll try it after you.
No, there. Okay.
Is it working?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, and then it just scans it and it goes to the website. And you click continue and it takes you to the website. But you might want to go back if you want to do it yourself. And it takes you to the browser, it takes you directly to. Correct. Yep, and there you go, and you can see the. I don't know, but it's definitely something that. No, it's not touchscreen. Yeah. I don't know. It's perhaps something that we might look into, but for now, no. You know, it's because you can't wiggle it at all because it's going to other options. So you have to click directly down. This is a touch sensitive.
Yes, go for it. Bring up information. It's like a special.
Yeah. Yep, there you go. She just took a photo of it and then it scans it. It's an application that yeah, no, it's not just
Okay, so you
general.
run the app and then it says take a picture and then it goes to.
Exactly, and then it takes you exactly like right there. If you want, you can try it out yourself.
No, it's cool.
So Charles, you're just talking about these things that are common in Toronto.
When we were younger, yeah, growing up in Toronto, a lot of the things that are in here were fairly common.
So these are ordinary household things that were common in Toronto. But did you know they were designer goods?
Not at this. My grandmother's house, my mother's house, people's apartments would all have these things fairly regularly. If you went out to somebody's house, you'd see things like this.
But when you were young, you had no idea who designed them.
No, they were all products. They were like General Electric. They were
Oh, you knew it by the label of the appliance,
never the name of the person.
but not the person. Oh, okay.
Very rarely. Everything was like had a product like General Electric. I'm trying to think, Moffat. Can't think of anything else.
But what about those curved wood chairs? You saw those too? You had chairs like that in your family's home or your.
Sure. Oh, yeah, my mother actually.